then also a huge part of of women specifically not feeling fueled is because they don't have enough protein. And I think that when you say protein, people think of, the big muscle lifting, like the weightlifters and the big, it's very like the dark, like protein shakes that are very manly and things like that. But it's actually
Hmm.
not just that. And in fact, you can have so much protein sources without buying specific protein powder, which again, I think that there's a misunderstanding of what actually exists in our food, unprocessed food as well. What are your favorite protein sources?
I head up one of the groups that we have for some of our strength training programs we have, and they're always asking me, like, how do I get enough protein in? So I've put a few schematics in where it ends up being 140 to 150 grams of protein, and people are like, whoa, well, that's just normal food. I was like, yeah, there's no protein powder in there. So we start like with oatmeal and chia seeds soaked overnight, and then you put in some nuts and some Greek yogurt, low fat Greek yogurt and some berries, so that's breakfast. And then some almonds and some hummus can be a snack. And then you have lunch that is edamame and other beans and maybe some chicken if you want that, sprouted grain bread as a sandwich and a salad. And then you get to afternoon snack. It's kind of similar to, you're having hummus and carrots, or you're having nuts and some cheese, or maybe you're having some hard-boiled eggs. And then dinner is a mix of like lentils and sweet potatoes, quinoa, some pumpkin seeds. And so it's a vegan bowl. But over the course of the day, you end up with around 140 to 150 grams of protein. And women have this misconception that that's too much protein. It's like, well, actually, when we look at it, people forget that the recommended daily allowance for protein is the bare minimum to prevent malnutrition. And when you are active and you're trying to keep and build lean mass, you need more than that. So we know that women on average, if they're just recreationally active, and they're premenopausal. So in your reproductive years, you need minimum of 1.6 to 1.8 grams per kilo per day. And when we start looking at getting older, because we become more resistant to building muscle through exercise and food, that ekes up to about 2 to 2.3 grams per kilo per day. And when you start doing the math, women freak out because, again, yeah, we have that social construct that we have to, eat lots of meat and have protein shakes and do all the bodybuilding stuff. When actually, no, we just look at all the different types of protein that's on all the different foods that we eat. And we end up with a really good level of good quality protein throughout the day.